Google versus library resources. First of all, why does it matter so much? Why can't I just go and start Googling my search topic and get where I get? So one of the first things we should consider is what Google knows about you or any potential user when you are doing your searches using Google. And so one of the most popular answers that you might think of first will be your location, right? So this is why when you type in McDonald's hours, it will give you the McDonald's in Gunnison, Colorado, because it would do you no good to have the one that's in East Lansing, Michigan, okay? So this is one of those things that we overlook because we're so used to having Google build it into our lives, right? So anytime that you're using your phone, they know where you are. Anytime that you are using a browser with an unmasked IP address, it knows where you are, and it takes all those things into account, right? So local phrases that you might be using could be different from location to location. Whatever topics that you're searching for could be different depending on what's happening where you are, right? In contrast, library databases don't do that. All they care about is whether you're on campus or off campus, right? If you are off campus, you might have to log in to access some things because it doesn't know that you're associated with us. When you pay tuition to a university, a lot of that money goes into getting access to databases and journals, all of those resources. So sometimes you have to go through us in order to make sure that it knows. Otherwise, it really doesn't care. The next thing will be your identity and search history, right? In addition to all the things that Google knows about you, it might know that your birthday, it might know all of the things that you've looked for in the past, whatever device you've been on. It could know things like your age and all the places that you have been with your phone and its location services turned on. It can know the things that you've bought recently, right? It stores all of those things and builds this profile of you, which is how they get their money. And so when you're looking at library databases, one of the biggest differences here are going to be what we share and what we don't share. Google will tell the government what you're up to, where you are. Warrants have been issued on the basis of where your phone says you have been. And of course, they are always listening to you through your microphones, right? So we've had a lot of issues with these technological corporations and kind of an overreach situation. So with the library, you don't have to worry about that because we have total anonymity for you. No memory, head empty, as they say. So this basically means that we pay EBSCOhost and all of our databases a lot of money to ensure your privacy and security as a researcher, right? It also goes against FERPA laws to have student information just out in the open like that. So we'll talk a little bit about the no memory part because it does lead to some issues with usability when you are looking at databases, but this is a key part of who we are as libraries. In our place as librarians, we have to fight against a lot of unfair restrictions, right? We think that information should be free and available to everyone. The FBI would love a list of people who want to check out the Anarchist Cookbook from us, but we will do everything we can to prevent that information from getting out, short of legal proceedings. So. Finally, the last thing is natural language processing. Google is really, really good at deciphering what words are important and not important in a search string. When you type in, or your grandma types in, more likely, "Dear Mr. Google, can I please learn how to change my car's oil?" It knows which words are important and which words to drop, which is a feature that you don't appreciate until you have to use a library database and you're like, well, you know, what's going on? I type in The Lord of the Rings and I get something different from Lord of the Rings because it doesn't prioritize really any of the words that you're using on any kind of basis. It just goes with whatever it goes with, and it doesn't help you with any kind of spell checking. It gives you no synonyms. It has no natural language processing, and you have to do all of that work yourself. So. Does this make it a little harder? Yes, of course. But it does give you more control, ultimately. So, let's review. Google is a snitch. They will make money off of your information. They are doing this whole global conditioning thing to make you want to take the easy way out, right? So using library databases for the first time can be really frustrating because you aren't used to having to do all of these things, having to select your settings, having to choose your words wisely, having to know how a word is spelled. And it can be hard, and you might want to run back to Google as an instinct, but I encourage you to give it a chance. So, library resources make their money by ensuring your privacy, forgetting who you are, and it is harder to use, but ultimately you are the one who has to do this work yourself. So.